Just waiting for you all to come back. Hoping we don't have buffering issues. That would suck. Hi, Diego. Let me know if we're having. Um, let me know if we're having some issues again, because the YouTube studio is kind of being fucky right now. I have us plugged into the Ethernet, so it should be better. Hey, Anik. It's fine now? Oh, that's good. Okay, good. This is good. No lag, no audio issues. Good. This is fine. Okay. Oh, so as I started to say, Brandon is going to be like maybe 10 minutes out now, which is kind of perfect because I have a tendency to ramble a bit. I don't know where to start. I definitely feel it important to get out of the way some of this stuff and to join with all of you in some of the ways that I'm feeling. I want to give you a little bit of context, I guess. So, 4 years ago, on the day after the election, obviously there wasn't a pandemic, and the election was called, pretty much through that night it was called. And I remember waking up, and I called out of classes. Are you having issues? What the fuck? Am I back? Do you have me? Okay, cool. Maybe it's that every single person in the world is on their on their internet right now. Um, Also, Comcast is centered in Philadelphia, so I don't know. Maybe every Comcast employee and engineer is just freaking out or something. Um, yeah, I that is true. I probably was talking for a little while. Anyway, okay. Provided that you can hear me, I'm gonna talk for a little bit, just to get some thoughts out. So, okay. So 4 years ago, it's the night after the morning after the election, and it's decided. And I don't think so. I don't think I dropped down. Um, and I called out of classes. I was in college still. It was in my last semester, I think. No, I that was my last year. I called out of classes, and I went on this walk, and I just like made eye contact with everyone. Um, I I remember feeling this sense of duty, like it was my responsibility to make eye contact with everybody that I saw. Um, to just like share in a moment of like sincerity. Uh, it wasn't that much, but I could give a smile, and I could try to give some sense of shared peace, I guess. Um, and leading up to that, I had been leading an artist collective for a couple of years, that was about art. It wasn't really about activism. Um, and all of a sudden, I had this community that I had built around me and around the work and around the school, and um, people needed sanctuary. People needed a place of safety. And so I woke up and I went on this walk and I saw these people and I made eye contact. And then I went back to school. I called out of classes, but I went back to the school anyway. And I just walked around and I talked to my professors and I talked to some students and asked how people were doing, and started making plans for the next meeting. Because I was doing, meetings once or twice a week for my collective. And it was the first time that I was like, okay, this is not just something that I do. This is something that I do. This is really important work. And it brings a lot of people peace and sanctuary. And it was really interesting on Wednesday morning to have the election so uncertain, to have the actual day of election behind us. Because truth be told, I expected it didn't go the way that we expected, and I expected that Trump would get another 4 years and we would figure it out. We would just figure it out. We would do the work, and I thought a lot about how I felt lucky that I had this vantage point. I was able to look back 4 years and see that I could use that moment as a metric for all my growth. And I thought, holy shit, in 4 years, look how much I've built, look how much I've grown, look how much I've changed. And I thought, okay, if we have to do this for another 4 years, I can do this. If I've been able to grow this far in the last 4 years, I'll be able to grow so much further in the next 4 years. And I still think that's true. This success today is so many different conversations. It's so much, because I can't just say that that it feels like a success. There's so much work to do. There's so much work to be done. And regardless of what the outcome was going to be, I knew that, I felt that, and I was ready to do the work. And I feel like, I guess I just feel really, really empowered and really, really grateful. We've been doing this on the Discord. For anybody who's not on the Discord, we've been doing 30 days of gratitude. Just trying to post as many days of November as you can, just one little bit of gratitude, something you're grateful for, which has been wonderful. It's something I think I'd like to keep as a channel for the whole year. But something I'm really grateful for is being here today. 4 years ago, we all found out the results of the election, and we all figured out how to respond, what work we had to do. And it was lonely. It was scary. It was really lonely. It was really fucking hard. It was really fucking hard. And And now I get to feel this moment with you. Now I get to join with you in this moment of like, in this moment of joy. This very complex joy. And I think it feels very it feels very right to be spending this time here with you. I found out when I parked my car outside of my studio, and I was walking up into my studio, where I get to make work and where I get to make community with you. I found out good news for the first time in 4 years. Good news. So and now I get to talk about art with you all. Now I get to look at your art, and that's just a beautiful thing. You know, I consider myself an artist activist, and I've often felt and said vocally in the server or in chats privately in the server that being an artist is being an activist, whether you like it or not. And I really feel that way. I feel very passionately that that's the case. You know, I think that comes down to respecting art and respecting the artist as a very, very important part of culture, of society. When we say culture, sometimes that has like the connotation of what's good culture versus bad culture, high culture versus low culture. And I don't mean that. I just mean it's the flame of humanity. To be artists is to show yourself to those around you, and to show themselves, right? You're being a mirror to your society. And it's so much more than that, but that's the baseline. And in that sense, no matter what the art is, I really hope that you can hear me when I say this. No matter what your art is, you know, I don't have it's not like there's criteria to meet for being an artist activist. Today we have Andre with some beautiful nature shots, and Diego with some beautiful nature shots, and Daniel with, what does Daniel have? Oh wow, it's a photo. Oh, it's a very large photo. I haven't even looked at this yet, but I'm excited to look at it. But I know who Daniel is, and I know what he's going to bring, and Sujay, and Austin, and Garang, and when I tell you that you're all artist activists, I mean it. You know, your art doesn't have to be political to be you, and for it to be you is the best thing you could ever give us. It's the most important thing you could ever share with me and with our community and with those that you love and with the public at large. That's the best gift you could ever give anybody, is sharing yourself. That's artist activism. That's being a political artist. It's being yourself. It's speaking your truth. It's sharing that being honest, that's all we need to keep going, you know. Um, so so I am very grateful to be here, um, getting to share this moment with you. I wish it could be in person. I wish I could cheers you. Um, or give somebody a hug, you know? But right now this is what we have. And it brings us together regardless of the spaces that we physically occupy. So evidently I'm gonna be fairly distracted. I'm gonna be a little bit not in my head today, but I would like to get started on our critique. I think Brandon will be in here in a couple minutes, and he'll come barreling in, and I'll have to tell him what we're up to and tell him that I've rambled for 20 minutes or something. But I'm just really grateful for all of you. I can't put it into words. I can't put it into words. That I really appreciate getting to do this. It's the honor of the last 4 years of my life, and it's the honor of my life. I really mean that. So, Andre, let's look at your art. We got 5 photos. I'm gonna hit the timer. It's kind of weird to do this by myself. I haven't done this by myself in a while. Let's take a look at all these. Look at that night sky. Wow. That's beautiful. Those are some amazing greens. I'm really loving this tree line. I'm loving this tree line. These are so gorgeous, Andre. Wow. I think that's it. So I guess with these, it's just me and you, all of you. Feel free to speak up, and any of you, and give any critiques you're thinking on. Maybe one day we'll do like an off week Let's Talk, and we'll do it as a video chat on Discord, and I'll screen share, and then we can all have an open dialogue like it's an art class. That would be really fun. Maybe my mods can help me remember that I'm thinking that. Wink. So I want to just kind of scroll through these for a moment and think about all of them. I want to start with this, I guess. I love the way that you've split it into basically thirds. It's a little off, but honestly, who cares? Doesn't matter, really. Composition's really important, but the whole composition's important. The kind of like precision of that is not so important. I love that you've done this third thing. There's 3 different types of information, really important, and sort of playing in their own spaces, and then just being able to getting the moment to be able to capture this light through the clouds and then its reflection with like the brief intermittent shadow. That's really nice. It's really, really nice. This too, just in terms of composition, like kind of going in halves and creating 2 very distinct scenes. One thing I like to think about one thing I like to think about is that in terms of composition, like I use that word a lot, right? Whether it's music composition or it's a photo or it's a video or it's a dance or whatever, when you decide to break a composition into minor pieces, if you obscure half of it or a third of it or a sixth of it, one quadrant, if you isolate it and you just look at that piece, is that engaging? Does it feel like a beautiful piece in itself? And here, I feel like the answer is yes. You've basically split it down right at this horizon, kind of, lake line, and you've given me a super beautiful minimalist photo here, right? So it's mostly sky, mostly gradient, not many clouds, just kind of monochrome, but that bit of information, shaded information, it's just so gorgeous. And I can kind of imagine, I wish I could crop easily on this, just to show you. I could imagine this just being the top half of this photo. That would be like just so beautiful. And the same goes for the bottom half. You give this information here that is so engaging. Little ducks. This little structure, I guess it was like for a lifeguard stand maybe. And then these reeds, there's just such a beautiful counterpoint in color. You know, it's like almost exactly complementary. This like blue green against this orange red. Just delicious. And these, at the beginning of October, I think it was, yeah, Claire and I were in Maine, and that evergreen and the dark blues, wow, super gorgeous. We have a Brandon.
Hello.
What's up?
Oh God, did the Wi-Fi crap out again?
It did, but I
You're supplying for me before I can even get to it.
I got
It's called team effort right there. Oh my God.
I got us set up with Ethernet, and we're all good.
Sorry.
Come. So I've basically gone through Andre's. We have Andre
what a
first.
photo to start to.
Yeah. So these are Andre's.
Wow.
And I'm gonna give you. I'm sorry, Andre. I'm gonna give you like a minute to do this, and then we'll go to the next one because we've already kind of looked at his. But
I mean, oh.
They're pretty amazing.
I don't really have that much feedback besides these are just really fucking pretty. You know, I love the character of every single one of them. I'd say, like, with this, it's like, it's always hard to try and, like, have a healthy balance of a shadow to highlight, but specifically with this, I think you're really paying attention to over HDR, because you could have very easily pumped those shadows to try and get even lighting, but the way you did it, it looks very realistic. So big props on that one. I don't know. I don't really have anything else to say besides these are fantastic. So is that a minute?
Sure. Yeah.
Swag.
Cool. Thank you, Andre. Just to catch you up to speed, I did a long soliloquy on feeling sad and excited. So
I feel like every time I hear someone say soliloquy, I like associate with theater. So therefore, I think there's music.
Oh yeah,
like underneath it.
Yeah, I had the ruffles.
Good.
Yeah,
good. Very good.
Yeah. I found a skull. I don't know where it came from.
It was out front.
Yeah.
Okay. So
let's get on.
Tiffany team. Okay, fair enough.
This is Diego. Diego hasn't sent us something in a while. I also like this aesthetic. It's pretty sweet.
Oh.
Yeah. He's got mixed
jokes.
photos, which were taken between August and October, I want to deliver some pics, very different between each other. Landscape, night frames, architecture, and peaches.
Swag.
P.S. I'm loving the latest Brandon's photo style on Instagram with textures and not entirely sharpened. Same goes for Jacob's music recommendations in Discord and own albums.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hashtag Tiffany team. Hashtag don't touch my coffee.
Coffee. Okay. Love this.
Yeah. Wowie wow. Very grainy. The last one was... Oh, I got too close to the mic. Grainy in a good way.
I don't
Fun
know
grain.
what you're using to shoot, but
I think he said phone.
I love that.
I think Diego's in the chat, I believe. Diego, did you shoot on that phone that you mentioned? I think he said like Poco phone. Is that a phone?
Yeah. I dig this.
Yeah.
No, I like that you're exploring. I love this for a lot of reasons, but specifically for the fact that it's just like hyper realistic in the sense of skewing perspective to give it like the upright view.
Yeah. It's good mastery over aspect ratio for sure.
It makes me wish that Instagram allowed you to upload on things taller than
Well, people do that
4x5
in a slick way. I really like.
They do it in like the borders.
I kind of like that. It reminds me of
I used to. I just like.
It reminds me of like old photography, like analog photography.
Yeah.
Like printing.
Yeah. I guess my thing is like, I want to be able to have options on Instagram besides what they just offer. I don't know. I think crop tells story as much as anything else.
This is the first one was taken with his main camera.
This is really pretty.
It is really pretty. Yeah, these are super beautiful.
You did a good job at figuring out flares.
And coloring in a way that replicates what it would feel like. I feel like that's a really important thing. I think maybe we both talk about this because we get a lot of nature imagery sent in. That coloring something that's nature is really about color harmony. It's not really about does this green look like green. It's about does this green look like green and is it going to interact with another color that's going to do that vibration thing that only nature can do. And like those like dark blue greens in the sky. You got that. It really does that for me,
And your symmetry is really on point. Also, I'm sorry if we're cutting out.
Yeah. It is what it is.
I don't have words except direct your anger and frustration towards Comcast. Okay, thanks, bye.
Do you know my feeling when I was starting, because I had a cutout and I had to drop and all that.
Yeah.
It's this is gonna suck, but obviously I want it to be a live stream. But regardless of whether or not it cuts out like this, it won't cut out in repeat maybe. So I'm just gonna keep talking.
Does.
All right.
I don't know.
It is what it is.
Yeah. But yeah, again, just keep doing what you're doing, man.
I like this little guy right here. It's like
a little
like flare of color.
Little scrap.
It's almost accidental.
Oh, I don't think that's a flare.
Well, no,
that's the light catching the window.
I don't mean like flare. I mean like flare. Like it's like
like
it's a little dash of color that's just unexpected and super beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah.
Super nice.
Yeah, I love what you're doing here. This is all like really visually interesting stuff.
Yeah.
Just keep exploring. I like it.
Keep exploring.
Keep exploring.
Let's get it. Daniel, hope everything is okay. It is.
Everything
evidently
is
more okay than I expected in some ways.
Yeah.
Hope the same for you, Daniel.
Yeah.
I hope we get to chat with you at 1:00. I made some changes in the lighting. Everyone was saying it's a bit dark. What do you think of the intro and song? Don't spend too much time on it. Use the time for other super talented people here. Also starting to share some of my pictures. Okay. Thank you. That's exciting. Let's look at the picture first. Wow. Very pretty.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. That's fun. This is like, oh, that is very fun.
Yeah.
Also fun.
Oh.
Is that a metro station?
It looks like it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Underground.
I miss undergrounds.
I like the bloom
Yeah.
that's happening.
Let's do video and
let's
then
do
we'll go
video.
back. So
Yeah.
we'll skim. Oops, forgot to reset.
Já muito se tem falado dos novos iPhones e, como já sabes, há muita coisa para falar.
Uhum.
Novas câmeras, novo design.
Very, very good.
No. Okay.
Hey, look!
Oh, hell yeah. Whoever is telling you it's too dark has no taste.
Well, you don't have to burn bridges like
No,
that.
I just did. So they have no taste.
It's very moody. I
Dude,
like it.
I fucking love it. Just
Cat
keep doing
pics.
you, man.
Cat pics. Yes, cat pics. give us cat pics in B-roll.
No, I dig this.
I
Also,
do too.
Are you using a Cine Bloom or like a Promist? Because it kind of gives me like a little
Sounds
bloom.
Sounds like a weird pickup line. Hey.
Hey girl, you
Hey.
using a Promist?
Hey there,
You
guy.
using a Tiffin?
You giving me a little bit of a bloom.
Are you digital photography? Because you're giving me a bloom. I know that wouldn't make sense.
No.
Are you analog?
It's
Because
fine.
you're.
You're fine.
I'll workshop it.
Yeah. Dude.
Um,
Oh, it was fun. I think it looks very good.
dude, your
Let's
skin
go full
tones
screen real quick.
look fantastic.
Yeah, it
Buttery, some may say.
he says promist.
See?
See? He's got a promist.
Promist. Nice. Dude.
Let's look at that intro again.
It's pretty as hell.
I think that you just have you have like a large amount of dynamic range in terms of your lights and darks, and that you have like you have a good mastery over that in this video. I don't think it's too dark. I think it's really kicking ass. I'm really eager to look at more of your photos if that's okay. I want to look back at those. I wish I had more critique for that video, but
My critique is just keep fucking doing you, don't listen to other people. It looks great.
yeah, it does.
Actually, respect.
Unless they're me.
Unless
don't
they're-
listen to me. Never
unless
listen to
they're
me.
Yeah, no. YouTube comment section doesn't know shit. So I don't know what's going on the side here to give that fringing, but I love it.
Yeah.
Again, I don't know what that is. Is there a chamfer on the phone? Did I just not notice the chamfer on the phone? And there's a little bit of chamfer. So maybe it's just like light refraction from the chamfer?
Oh, is that the Pro? Or
That's
is it
the
the normal?
12 Pro. Yeah.
That's cool. Looks good.
It does.
It actually looks better than
It's
I
very
expected.
blue.
Yeah. It sounds heavy. Oh, it is heavy.
It's pretty heavy.
Chunky boy.
I dropped it already.
Nice. Good.
Dented the chassis, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But
I like these warms. I think this is like this is a composition thing and a color harmony thing again. Sort of, actually, it's the same color correlation too. That the only way to achieve the realistic color here, like I'm looking at this phone right now, the only way to achieve the realistic color is to complement it with colors that will make your eye see that as a more realistic version of itself. So having these like sienna or brown, red brown, it's gonna be muted or neutral brown, neutral red tones. I'm saying this not necessarily to Daniel, obviously, you know that, you did it, but for everybody, that like to edit this and color grade it in the same way that you would those natural shots, it really brings out a realistic look in that
also,
blue.
this is a very hard phone to grade. Like, very hard phone to grade. Even like with the intro that I made recently, it was shifting purple mostly, and I'd have to sort of bring it back to a blue. But like you went for like a greener look to that blue, which, I mean, building on what Jake said, like it complements the warmth
Yeah.
super well, which like doesn't, like usually when I see a phone that like I know the color of and like it's shifted a different way, it kind of bothers me. But with this, the harmony allows me to sort of, I guess, assume the median.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's what happens with your eyes. It's there's a name for it, like literal color versus perceived color, right? Like I can zoom in. I could take a little swab, or what do they call it? Like the little dropper.
Eyedropper.
I could take the dropper and I could grab this color. And look, of course, that's like not. I could take the phone next to it and say that green is not the right color.
Yeah.
But the way that it plays with everything else is so right. My eyes like that's correct.
Yeah.
If you compare that to photographers, you are also musicians, right? Like if you compare that to like music theory, if I play one single note and I just listen to that note means nothing. A sine wave of literally one frequency. But then I bring in the note played on a string instrument, and it creates a series of overtones, and those overtones interact in a certain way, and I know that's a guitar playing that, and then I know that's a guitar playing in a hall because of the way that it reverberates, and then I know that note with three other notes creates a new thing, and that new thing is color harmony. It works the same way.
Yeah.
I
just wanna see, this is much closer to the actual color. Be careful of color banding. I'm just looking at the red in the reflection of the camera and how it's banding a little bit in this region. I'd say that's usually a push too far of either saturation or luminance within a specific color. And I think like you can absolutely keep the far saturation. I'd say within that region though, definitely consider lessening clarity within that specific region, but increase sharpening maybe to maintain detail, but bloom the areas that are starting to fringe. But otherwise, this looks fucking fantastic.
Yeah.
Love what you did on the edges here. Also, the composition. You're a talented dude. That's all I gotta say.
We got 3 more. We got to get to it.
Oh, shit. Okay.
So, thank you, Daniel. Thank you for submitting, and thank you for showing us your photos. Damn, dude.
Yeah.
I really appreciate it.
I love this.
Happy to see more if we get to. Sharing an A-roll. This is from Sujay. Thank you, Sujay. Sharing an A-roll frame grab from OnePlus 8T video. Tried to create a sort of daylight look. Room is completely dark, so I had the light from scratch. Would love to hear your thoughts and suggestions.
Every time I see a phone, I get a little bit of anxiety. It's like, wow, this is a phone that I've yet to make a video on. Wow, this is another product that I have to figure out. But then I see you guys doing it, and then I feel worse about myself because you guys have figured it out.
See, I was really excited that you were going to say, I feel better because I'm in a community of people that make me feel good about myself.
I mean, I feel good seeing other people excel at what they do.
I think you have to do
But at the same time, then I'm just like, oh, God, now I have to be good at what I do.
Everyone, it seems like Brandon needs to put in the work that you're putting in to realize
You know
the
what?
community can be a source of empowerment.
Okay, so
beautiful.
first off, you're paying attention to skin tones.
Look at that. That's
Quite
fun.
a lot. So, I think I've mentioned this
fun room.
before, but I love people using top-down lighting. Really soft, really bloomy.
Sujay, I don't know if you're in here, but maybe you can tell me later. I'll ping you in Discord, but were these walls yellow before? Do you
I don't remember them as being yellow.
Because having them as yellow, like having this white, like dark gray, and then white ceiling with some top-down lighting and yellow walls is like kind of fucking brilliant for skin tone, because it's warm. You're generating like a warm.
I guess my yeah, I agree with that.
Like, look at the way that...
I
look
think
at the way
it
that there's-
can have a negative effect
Sure.
sometimes.
But
I
that
think
depends on the skin
specifically-
tone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think specifically for this, it really does work.
Yeah.
I think my only worry with that is like sometimes you're gonna have to shift color in post, which can lead to a whole entire plethora of issues down the line. But it's working for you. I think like inherently your camera's shifting a little magenta. It's like there's some purple going on mixed with your glasses and the nice skin tone and the green. It's a nice color palette.
It is really nice.
I also love your shirt.
I think the shift... I think if... Maybe it was a deliberate shift towards magenta, because I think if it was shifted any greener, skin tone would not look so realistic.
Be. Yeah, it might be.
But it looks
I'm
right.
also interested as to what this thing is.
Oh, Suji says walls were always yellow. Never noticed.
Really?
I always forget. He does the double...
Yeah, it's smart. It's very smart.
double, maybe triple. I don't know what this is.
I think it's double.
What is this thing, though?
I don't know what that is.
Sujay's in the chat, by the way. Sujay's in the chat. We need
Sujay,
an emoji.
What is this thing going on here?
Wait, this is a headache for my moderators on Discord. What if we had one emoji for every member in the server?
Oh my god.
Austin, can you put everybody on a different piece of food?
Their
Don't do
favorite
that.
food.
Please don't
Their
do that.
favorite food, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All of a sudden, right off the bat, this is fantastic.
Yeah.
Did we have a timestamp? I don't think we did. Yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Very, very good.
Hello guys, and welcome back to
Yes.
Wow. Dude. What? Why are you so good?
I would say...
what's subtle and you notice that you
Dude, so just like this frame in itself, very soft, really pretty. It kind of gives me like 70s film stock, like designer presentation vibes. It's really pretty. And then you go into this blue green amber color space, and it looks absolutely fantastic. Yeah. And then this is coming up.
Yeah.
Blowing my mind, man. Blowing my mind.
Looking really good.
I don't know what you're using here to get this bloominess, but it looks really nice. It might just be a plugin, but yeah. Okay.
Very good. Thank you.
Every time, I'm
Yeah.
just like mind blown. Okay. Austin.
These are some thumbnails I've made for upcoming videos. One thing I've been incorporating into my thumbnails is flares in retrocam and lens distortions to make my thumbnails not only pop a bit more, but also make them more recognizable as my own. I also like them to be vibrant as well. Curious what you both think about these. I'm very open to potential feedback, as thumbnails is something I've been working on improving lately. Cool. Let's do it. Let's check it out.
Sweet. All right. So 1,
Good.
2,
Fun.
3,
Tasty.
4.
Nutritious. No
That's
more.
it. All right. Fair enough. So this one looks great. I love the little Tiffany edges
Yeah.
of the plywood
Very
mixed with the Tiffany flare. The only thing I'm gonna say, this is a personal preference thing. When I see a phone in a thumbnail, I always think that a good focal point is the camera. I think that should be the sharpest element on the phone. And especially with a camera like this, I always love to superimpose fake elements. So basically, like, for instance, I'm going online.
I thought you were just gonna flex on like some photo of yours.
Oh no. But like, that's not the foray. That's a foray. So grabbing that like stock image, color matching it, superimposing it on top, and just cutting out the camera section, and then basically blending that until it looks like it's part of your image. That way you have a really clean, sharp camera cutout. That's a solid focal point. Just because I like to see the lens. And I like for that to be the clearest element of the thumbnail. But that's just a personal preference thing. But colors look great on this. I love the dual tone white and gray. Mm-hmm. And then with this, I like this.
Oh God, why are you doing that? I want to zoom it out. That's fine, whatever. I wanted to make it thumbnail size, but I can't.
Oh, got you. I think my only thing with this is just headspace.
Yeah.
I think it might have behooved you to have cropped it about this level. Cut out about half of that headspace that you have going on. That way you have a little bit more emphasis on the phone itself. But other than that, this looks really nice. Colors look really good. And I think my only thing that I might say is like with the flare on this, I don't know if I'm sold. Mm-hmm. I feel like there's certain shots like this one that flare works. For something like this, I feel like the color speaks for itself, like the color of the phone, and adding the red flare might subtract from that focus maybe a little bit.
Yeah,
something to think about. I'm moving on. I was just gonna speed through and then I was gonna go back and
that's fine.
This, I love this. I love color. Only thing I'd say about this one, is select around the phone. The background blue, I'd decrease exposure by just like 1 or 2. Mm-hmm. That way we have a little bit more emphasis on the phone itself.
Yeah.
The flare looks great. I feel like you're underwater or something. It's really fun.
Yeah.
And then with this, I'd make the same comment on headspace. Come down a little bit. Mm-hmm. Flare looks good.
Well, and that comment feels instructed by exactly what you said about focusing on the camera. Like, obviously, you're basically focusing here on this camera, but since it's such a big palette, if you bring it up a little bit, remove a little bit of headspace, you'll get this really right in the crux, right in the center, which is nice.
Those are my thoughts.
I don't have that many thoughts. Austin, I think this is really good. I think my only thought is I agree with what Brandon said about highlighting the subject versus its background. I think there's an issue that happens in thumbnails, and I'm obviously not like a master on thumbnails, but in terms of scaling, right? So scaling being auxiliary to composition, like an element of that. You're editing something close up. You're looking at it, in full screen on your computer or something, and you're doing all the detail work. You're zooming in, and you're looking at this image really tight, like really close. But all told, that thumbnail is going to be looked at so small. It's never going to be looked at big. So if you make a move, if you make a decision that feels unrealistic at scale, at large scale, for instance, highlight the subject and decrease exposure on the background, or darken the background, or desaturate the background in a way that at scale looks unrealistic. It doesn't really matter, because when it scales down, what it's gonna do, it's still gonna interact well. For me,
ready?
Perfect. You got to move it a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a really good idea.
I mean, that's the size you're mainly going to see it, and it's like,
I think this one I like the most if we're following that rule. To be
I guess my
honest.
thing is like, when you're seeing it at this size, it's okay to overemphasize, because I mean, closer in it may look forced, but smaller sizes, I think emphasis is okay.
Yeah.
And then same thing.
Sorry.
You're good. Like this plays because the contrast plays, but I think again, you can totally decrease headspace because I think the focus would be a lot stronger.
Yeah.
There wasn't as much. And then with this looks good.
Yeah. But decrease, like with these last two, with the 1+7 whatever and this whatever, this is what it looks like after I work with Brandon on tech videos for a year. I was like, the fucking who cares, and that I don't give a shit.
The fucking palette shit.
Is that like they really both do look good, and I love the color matching. Like it looks so cool.
Yeah.
But if you decrease that a little bit, I think it would do a little something for you.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, we got to get going to our last one because we got to get on a chat with some of you for our office hours crew.
And we're gonna attempt to
just leave it like that.
It's a window for ants.
Yeah. But thank you, Austin, for sending us stuff. And
dude,
as always,
seriously,
sort
so
of.
good.
I want to give the outro right now while we're preparing Garangs. We'll watch this and then we'll talk about it and then get done. We are, after this chat, we're going to get into the Let's Fix It, which is the office hours exclusive chat through our Patreon on our Discord. You're welcome to join there. If you're not there already, you can just subscribe to Discord or to Patreon and it'll link your Discord. Aside from that, we have this Wednesday, if you subscribe to our Patreon, this Wednesday we have our next resident artist chat, who is my friend and will become Brandon and some of your friend, Jana Graham, who's a musician. She's a Broadway musician, among other things, who actually is from Georgia and living in Georgia right now. And I'm really fascinated to get the chance to talk to her because she's going to provide some really interesting stuff. Those chats, if you don't know what they are, they highlight and focus an artist as our resident artist, but really they're about having a conversation about lived experience. That's kind of what I've learned over the last however many months we've been doing this. It's just a moment to talk to people who, have a different experience than us, and I'm really stoked to get to talk to her. So we're doing that on Wednesday, and at some point this coming week, I'll be doing another interview with one of our past resident artists, or I will say, if you don't know or you haven't seen, I've been doing long-form, uncut interviews with some artist friends for the public to kind of try to complement those private office hours chats, so that I can bring more conversations to a lot of you. Right now I have two. I talked to Alyssa. I don't know, you probably haven't seen those.
I have.
Oh, you have?
Yeah.
Oh, well, look at that. I talked to Alyssa and I talked to Justin Harris, yeah. Alyssa's was really fun because she got to show me some choreography for a dance piece that she's working on with one of my songs. And Justin is just always such a blessing. I cannot... I really don't know what else to say. Whenever I talk to Justin, I'm just happy. He's just such a gem of a person. So, speaking of which, Justin, I totally forgot to talk to him about this. Justin's supposed to design some merch for us.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that later. Anyway, let's get into Grangs, and then we'll leave you. So I'm sending you a video which contains clips from the last YouTube video upload. It won't have much context to understand from, so I'll describe the clips and add questions at the end of the description, which I would love for you to answer. Clip 1. This is simply a cut from the introduction, where I tried this new shot where the Apple Watch remains in focus and right at the center of the frame, while the rest of the frame moves around it. That sounds fun. The glitch transition works really nicely with it since the watch is in the center, so it appears like it's morphing from one scene to the other. The music is again loud, rock, energetic, and I tried to use it as the background track when it started fading away from the loud hook. So I just want to hear your thoughts regarding the idea of this whole sequence and whether the music fade away was better than how it was done. The last video I showed you what can be improved. Cool. I'm going to keep that in mind. Clips 2 and 3. These clips are just an explanation of what the Apple Watch can do for someone. Clip 2 is all about the general stuff it can do, fitness, notifications, etc., where clip 3 is more about how it takes care of you. Clip 2 has a faster pace, simple framing of shots. Clip 3 is more of an up-close and personal take about how it takes care of you. So I used a macro lens with the phone to show that emotion somehow in the video, along with slower music to show shift in emotion. Just want to know whether it worked or not, and if there are improvements to be made. Regards, Grang Aurora, champion of my heart. Yes. Always and forever.
Okay.
The Apple Watch has been the highest selling watch in the entire world. But do you need it? Do you need to spend that much money on a watch when the same amount of money can buy you something like a OnePlus Nord or an iPhone SE? I have an answer, but let me start with explaining the things it can do.
Oh, fun.
So the Apple Watch.
You want to pause?
That was really good.
That was really good. I know for a fact that Brandon is impressed because Brandon and I have tried to do that kind of thing and we fucked up.
Jake, you don't need to help me.
It's okay. There's a million ways
Wow.
to.
Okay, dude. Yeah, you're doing work. You're doing work. So if an intro is just cool, then that's whatever. But if an intro is cool and serves a purpose, like telling the story,
Yeah.
that's even more fucking dope. So the fact that you
When the
have
same amount of money
how
can
many?
buy you something like a OnePlus. Let me start with explaining the things it can do.
1, 2, 3. Yeah. You have really good purpose to the cool intro, which is like a whole other level of just like, that's fucking dope. Okay, so title frame. Nice.
So the Apple Watch, it shows you know if you like running, Apple Watch can track your runs too. And there is also a workout app which helps you keep track of all the possible workouts.
I like the split
one does.
frame.
Yeah.
It shows you the compass if you are lost in the sea. It helps you with maps. It records your voice memos. It can also help you access Siri, so you can tell Siri stuff to do. But most importantly, it takes care of you. It reminds you to just breathe and breathe for a minute. It tracks your sleep and reminds you to go to bed whenever the time has come. It wakes you up too by not blaring a loud alarm and breaking your wrist with vibrations, but by nudging your wrist and playing a small melody on the iPhone to wake you up easy. It encourages you to take care of your heart. It tracks your beats per minute, has an ECG which won't detect a heart attack, but keeps a record of if there is any blockage or anything that might discomfort you later.
Cool.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, first of all, I think your music selection works, especially towards the tail end of that. It really complements the overall vibe or the subject of what you talk about later. I'd say your use of split.
Playing a small melody on the. It tracks your sleep and Siri.
Yeah, your use of split frame for B-roll is really fucking good. And I like your shot variety. It feels very personal.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I I love what you're exploring. I think it's really really smart. And I think the intro is fucking dope.
Yeah.
But yeah, those are my thoughts.
I think same thing.
Was there anything? Sorry, I didn't mean to.
Music, glitch transition, music, whether or not the intro worked.
Oh, yeah, shot selection again. Shot selection looked dope.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, I think the same thing. I think that it feels very personal. It holds my attention because it feels like I'm spending time with you. To me, that's a success. I think my metric for success in a video that's like about tech is whether or not it feels like I'm spending time with somebody, because I don't give a shit. Like I at this point after a year, some of you know that about me. Like I don't really care that much. It's not part of me, and I love that it's part of a lot of you. But what's a large part of me is like seeing the you, and getting to feel like I'm spending time with you. So for me, it's kind of like a nice metric to look within myself and be like, is this holding my attention? Do I feel like I'm getting the chance to listen to a friend? And if the answer is yes, that's a huge fucking success. So, that's really good. Daniel's does that too. We got to watch some of Daniel's, and it always does that for me.
Yeah.
I always feel like I'm just like, I can settle in. I can just settle in and listen to a friend talk to me. So, no, I don't really have any comments. I think that the music worked really well. Everything worked. Wow, somebody just blew up the building, I guess. Everything works really well in a way where it feels like it drives your energy, but I don't even notice it doing that. And that is a huge success. When those production elements are enough in the background that you just don't even notice that they're pulling the story forward, that's really good. So, I guess if you have any further questions, this is like I know we have to transition into our next chat, but if you have any further questions, I'm happy to talk more about it in our next chat, but we do have to probably get to that. So let's skadoodle. Yeah. Thank you for being with us.
all of you.
And we'll see you in a couple weeks, or in a couple days, depending on, if you're with us in office hours. And that's it. You got anything else? No?
Biden won. Okay, that's all.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wild shit.
Bye, friends.
Wild shit.
Have fun.
See ya.
See some of you
Talk
very
to you soon. Bye.